Hello friends, it's Jeff here and welcome to my corner. Now in this chapter of the B-17 build we're going to tackle the cockpit. Now you all know that building an airplane, the cockpit is always first on the list. Before you can even close the fuselage or do some major assembling, you have to take care of the cockpit. Now in my case, I have to take care, or I have to look at the fuselage first. Why? Well, I'll tell you all about it. So let's get to work. Now we all know that the B-17 is going to be on its belly. And in 99% of the cases when an airplane makes a crash landing, there is almost always structural damage, especially when it lands in a field with obstacles, as in this case. So to recreate this, I have to thin out the inner fuselage. I have to grind the plastic down almost paper thin. And by doing that, I'm going to do this with a Dremel. Now by doing that, I also going to take away or grind away the framework of stiffeners, and after I'm done I have to recreate the stiffeners again. It's a lot of work, but it's necessary. If we want to keep it correct or the way it should be, then we have to do that. So that's something that it's going to take some time, but again, it's necessary. What I really need to be careful for is the front section, because this is going to be the most visible, and this is where all the action is going to be. Now, I have to make sure that I don't do anything wrong by if I go too far with the Dremels and I do some really big damage, that whatever happens, I have to make sure that the outer ring here, that I keep that intact. And that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have to be able, whenever everything is said and done and I have to assemble the fuselage, I need to have a guideline, so my the two fuselage halves will line up, and it's very important. The second reason I want to keep this and not to compromise this is that I'm not sure what I'm going to, at this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to mount the glass cone, if I'm going to damage the glass cone, or if I'm going to leave it completely off. I think I'm going to choose for the latter, because that's going to be the most dramatic. It's going to be also the most compelling, because all the action and all the detail will be here. So this ring is going to be visible. So whatever happens, I have to make sure that I do not touch this ring. So now there's only one thing left for me to do, and that is Dremel the hell out of it. It's going to be nerve-wracking, but you know, it is what it is, so we have to do it. Now I also already have I made a little schematic or a diagram of where the battle damage is going to be, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. I'm going to try to respect that. So well, let's do it. There's no way back. So well, that was it as far as the grinding is concerned. There's a lot more grinding going on all over the airplane, where I'm going to do some more battle damage. But for now, for the front section and to be able to put a cockpit in place, I think I'm done. I got it as paper thin as I could get it. As a matter of fact, I poked a few times through the fuselage, and when I turn it around, I can already see some distortion here and there. So I think it's going to look pretty nice. It's going to be a little tricky, and doing this was very hair raising. If you try this, be very careful, be patient, because if you blink an eye, you're going to poke through the plastic, and then you only have to create more work. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, I need to replace the stiffeners now. I put them back in place. I'm going to do this with plastic sheet and plastic strips, and then once those are in place, then I need to really start thinking about where the damage is going to be, and this all has to be in accordance with the floor and the bulkheads. So in the next video, we're going to replace the stiffeners, and we're going to adjust the floor and the bulkhead and see how everything falls together, and then we're going to really create the damage that's going to stay there, and hopefully that will turn out the way I want it to be. But for now, that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Hope you liked it. Now, as always, take care of yourselves, be safe out there, and I'll see you guys on the road. Jeff V here, signing off.